I'm Dean Galushin. Welcome to another edition of Shootin' Plink. As you can tell, we're back here at our knife throwing range again. And I've got this set up with 3 different targets. And I got them stacked. There's a reason. That kind of makes it a little bit more difficult when you're throwing and you're going with 3 different ones. Why? Well, people that throw know that you have to change a little bit when you're going to the next one. Also, you want to concentrate on the one that you're throwing at, because if you're aiming at this and all of a sudden you change your mind, you want to go to this one, you normally miss. There's just something about it. That split second can throw it all off. So make sure that once you decide on a target and you're concentrating on it, throw it that one. But what we're going to be doing, that's not what I'm here to tell you about. We're going to be throwing another axe. Now, here recently we threw the cold steel Templar, and I really like that axe. It's a nice size, weight, and of course it's got all those points no matter what direction it hits. And this is especially a lot of fun for a beginner because he's usually going to stick that thing. But I always like to try to stick it with the blade side. And that's what we're going to be doing with a different one. And I'll show it to you now. In fact, I don't even know what you want to call this. There's the name. JXE JXO. I guess you could call it JoJo if you want. Make the other silent. Why would I say that and not really check it out? I did check it out. I contacted the company and I said, how do you pronounce this? They told me they don't. They spell it just like I did. Now that's something. So it's kind of like an old MASH series that they had where an episode that Hawkeye asked BJ, what's the BJ stand for? He says, anything you want it to. Well, I guess that's the same way with this. So we'll call them JoJo axes. And they're not real big. I'd like to have them weighted just a little bit more, but I'll pull one out. Each one's the same. It's got a cover on it. We're going to be throwing all 3. Lay it down here. There we go. Like I said, they each got a cover. I've already loosened this one up. You do have to, there's a snap here. Make sure that that's out of the way. That's why I stuck my finger in there to open that up. Here's what they're like. They're 10 inches. They're 9 ounces. The first problem I've had really, and I haven't cut it yet, but this is a paracord and it separates very, very easy, as you can see. So I asked the company, isn't there something that you could have that would be a solid handle on this, because it's definitely got the holes to screw a solid handle into. And they said, well, they put the paracord on there to make it a little bit different to throw. They've got 2 models, one with and one without. Inside here, if you took this off, there's wrenches. That's right, it's kind of a dual purpose axe that way. And it does have a very sharp edge here. Back here, no, not so much. And maybe you can see it. It's a lot thicker there. It's not really, I can do this and it doesn't stick. So I wouldn't want to do that with the front, and I wouldn't want to do it with it down here either. But I don't know, maybe you could sharpen a little bit more if you wanted to make sure that this end's stuck. I have stuck it with this end, there's no doubt about that. What we're going to try to do today is throw it and stick it with the edge. And throw them up here, and also 3 down, which we're going to be talking about, which I already explained a little bit about. Well, first off, distance. I like these actually from 13 feet on back. The closer, yes, I throw them closer, but I prefer it 13 feet back and on back. Actually 13, 16 feet, that's pretty good distance to put them in. You could probably do it a little bit longer too. But we're going to try the one way, you throw it this way, and the other way, you throw it this way. And I'll tell you when we start doing it, what we're doing, and what I'm talking about on that. It's different from 13 feet and 16 feet. And as I said, we'll talk about it when we start throwing, which we're going to do right now. We're back here at 13 feet, and as I said, I like to throw them at different sides. In other words, what we're going to do here, in order to get the blade to stick, I'm going to throw it with the back side pointed at the target. I don't know if you can see this or not, just like that. I'm going to throw it that way. So, peppers down below here. Let's hope we don't have any ricochets. I'm going to throw them first at that top target. There. They all hit. They're actually quite an accurate axe, because I was trying to throw them so that those paracords would not hit. I'm going to go get them, and we're going to throw at all three of them. All right, again, we're throwing at 13 feet. We're going to go right down the line. 1, 2, 3. There's the first one. There. All three of them stuck. I bet that bottom one really stuck deep, because that one's a little bit softer. Same wood, but that's aged a little bit longer. So we'll go take a look. I'm going to grab them, and then I'll tell you how deep it really is. That blade was buried clear up to the black part, and you've seen where it was a silver and a black before. And by golly, the top one was buried just about as deep, so they got some pretty good penetration to them for a 9-ounce axe. We're going to go at that top one though. We're at 16 feet now, and I have turned it so that the blade is facing the target when I throw it, not backwards like I did at 13 feet. Okay, got them all in there. Now we're going to go with the 3 that go all the way down. And before I throw the 3 down like we did before at 16 feet, I wanted to mention that it seems like one of these, and I'm sure it's the same one every time, doesn't stick quite as deep. It does not penetrate, and I don't know why. And it will bounce out if you throw all 3 of them, but fortunately we've been doing okay here today. That one's probably it. You just seen what it did. It hit the blade, but it didn't go in. Now that one did. That bottom one went real deep. In fact, we're going to throw them again because that one did bounce out, and we'll see what happens. Bet that's the same one. We're going to pick up just that one and see what happens. I have no idea why this one's doing this. We're going to throw at the same target, that middle one with this. Well, that time it's stuck, and I'm going to go check the penetration. That stuck real good. Clear up to here. Did real well. We're going to do this again. The reason being is I want to see if they'll all stick again. I bet that one is the one that's been bouncing out on us. Well, they all stuck real good. So now let's get the camera here, and I'm going to talk just a little bit about them before we go. I've decided to show you what they'll do at 10 feet before we turn around here. And I'm going to throw it at that top one. Okay, they all stuck, but as you'll notice, they've stuck on an angle. So they stick with the top of the blade at 10 feet, and I'm throwing the blade at the target. But normally, I mean, that's what they'll do. I can get them straight, but that's a quick throw of the handle. I'll show you how I hang on to these too. I don't always throw them the same way that you might think. Well, we had one that evidently was brushed by one of the blades, because the paracord handle has kind of got it in one shot, it looks like. That or it just came undone. I'm just not too sure, because it doesn't really look like it's cut necessarily, but it might be. It's hard to tell, but it definitely has come unwrapped, which is what I was afraid of in the first place. But these paracord handles are nice as far as for making a little bit more bulk to it when you're throwing them. And if you want that blade to stick, that's what I was going to tell you, because I showed you there when I stuck them, they all stuck like this. That's because of the way I was holding them. And this is annoying. I'm going to get one that get one without that paracord in there. And it's all fuzzed out. The way I normally throw them is clear down here, like this. And like I said, at 13 feet I did them this way, which I showed you. And then at 16 feet I did them this way. Well, to get them, when I'm at 10 feet, like I threw them there, to get it right at that so that the axe usually puts the blade in flat, just like this, I'll come up to this little mark right here. No, not up here, but right here. I come here, that don't always work real well. I've tried it different places, and you know, I'm going to work with these more as I go along, but this has got features to it. There's no doubt about that, because if you want it for like a survival type thing, it's even got a little bottle opener here in case you got to open a bottle. So there's things like that in it, and if you had to puncture like the top of a can or something, you can use that, whack it. There's supposed to be, as I said, there's wrenches inside of here. So this is kind of a all-purpose little throwing axe, I guess, when it comes right down to it. And like I said, it's not all that bad. It's just, I wish there was just maybe just an ounce. Like my LaFouque's knives that I use, my Storks, they're about 10 and a half ounces, right in there somewhere. And all the ones that I do the best with are usually around 10 ounces or even a little bit more, up to 14 ounces. So I'd like to see these at least 10. And a different handle. And maybe the handle, if you had a solid handle on it, that might make a difference in the weight. Then again, maybe it would throw this off from hitting. You just have to throw them different. But overall, yeah, they're a pretty nice little throwing axe. Not all that much. I think I got these on Amazon for, I don't know, about $20 some for the set of 3. So, you know, that's not too bad. And they have been holding up good because I've been throwing them some. And as you can see, they do well. They're pretty doggone accurate if you really want to concentrate and go for that bullseye. But I just was, and that was what I was going to say. You can see I was just doing it as a casual throw, boom, boom, however I wanted to do. So they were still fairly accurate even doing that. So until next time, shoot safe and have a great day of plinking.